Hi everyone, a pleasant day to you all. I welcome you all once again to watch YouTube video lectures by me. So today you are going to learn about a novel titled as Pride and Prejudice. It is written by Jane Austen, who lived towards the end of the 18th century. So before going into detail of this particular novel, I would say few things about what is a novel. A novel is a fictitious prose narration filled with many characters and action, and it represents reality, some degree of reality. So there are five elements in the novel: that is character, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution. So regarding this novel, there are many characters, but four characters are outstanding: Elizabeth, Jane, Darcy, Bingley. All other characters revolve around these four characters. We don't have an antagonist, so all start with some weakness, but towards the end they get redeemed. Then plot of the novel. The plot of the novel is that it is about a Bennet's family. A Bennett's family has five daughters, so they want all their daughters to get married soon. Especially they want their eldest daughter Jane to get married. So we are seeing there is a matchmaking in the party. So a party is hosted in Netherfield Park where two gentlemen, Darcy and Bingley, visit. So at that time we see Jane got very well with Bingley, so they start love each other and it goes on. But there is a conflict between Darcy and Elizabeth. So they both dislike each other. First of all, Darcy refuses to dance with Elizabeth, stating her social Bennet's family social status. In that way, Elizabeth is also angry with him because of his arrogance. So there starts the conflict of Pride and Prejudice. This conflict is intensified with the introduction of Wickham, the military officer, whose patron is Darcy. So Wickham is very friendly with Elizabeth, and he tells all lies about Darcy. So in that way, Elizabeth becomes close to this Wickham than Darcy. But we see a turn of event towards the end. See Lydia, the youngest daughter of Bennet's family, elopes with the Wickham. So in that way, reputation of Bennet's family is at stake. So at that time, this Darcy who comes and saves the reputation by settling their marriage and paying off the debts of Mr. Wickham. So in that way, Elizabeth is attracted towards Darcy, even though she refused or declined his first proposal. She accepts his second proposal after this turn of events. So in that way, all is well. The novel ends very happily. A marriage between Bingley and Jane, and Darcy and Elizabeth also get married towards the end. So that's the plot of the novel. And the setting of the novel is set in a rural British town. So it's the 18th century social culture is reflected through this novel. There are three themes. First is marriage is considered as a business. So if any family they want their daughters to get married, they need to be socially, economically very well. Then only they can get a bridegroom. Then gender discrimination. So women or girls are just considered as a property. So they need to entice and attract the gentleman. Then love transforms the difference, all the differences. The Darcy loves Elizabeth for her beauty and intelligence. And Elizabeth loves Darcy because he is a good gentleman and he helps his sister. So we see there is a love transforms all the difference of pride, prejudices and other social economic differences. Now few questions. So these questions will help to understand the novel better. So how is Darcy initially perceived? So Darcy is one of the main characters in the novel. So he is perceived as arrogant and pride. What does Darcy do to Elizabeth when he visits her in the Collins house? So Colin is a cousin of Elizabeth. So when Elizabeth visits Colin's house, Darcy also visits there. So he proposes to her. Who does Lydia marry? Lydia marry Wickham, the military officer. What does Wickham lead Elizabeth to believe about Darcy? So Wickham is friendly with Elizabeth. So at that time he tells all lies about Darcy, that he cheated him. He didn't give the inherited property. What does Lydia Catherine demand of Elizabeth? So there is a Lady Catherine. Lady Catherine is an aunt of Darcy. She doesn't like Darcy getting married with Elizabeth. So she asks Elizabeth to not to marry Darcy. Some more questions. How does Mr. Darcy offend Elizabeth at the first ball? So ball means dance in Netherfield Park. So when Elizabeth offers to dance, Darcy refuses to dance with her. What does it mean that Mr. Bennet's property is entailed? So in England, according to England social culture at that time, a male child only inherit the property of the family. So here in Bennett's family, they have only 5 daughters, no male child. In that way, if the 5 daughters get married, cousin can inherit the property. Which Bennett daughter does Mr. Collins propose marriage? So Mr. Collins, a clergyman, cousin of Elizabeth, so he proposes Elizabeth to marry. Why does Miss Bingley dislike Elizabeth? Miss Bingley dislike Elizabeth because she loves Mr. Darcy. Who is Lady Catherine? So Lady Catherine is the aunt of Mr. Darcy. What socially disastrous romantic decision does Lydia make? So Lydia make a decision to marry Wickham and elopes with him. So this is socially a wrong decision made by her. Who pays off Wickham, convincing him to marry Lydia? So it is none other than Darcy who pays off all the debts of Wickham and convinces him to marry Lydia. So in this way he gets good name in Bennett's family, and finally he marries Elizabeth, and the novel also ends happily. So this is all about the novel Pride and Prejudice. Thank you for watching. Keep watching. Have a nice day.